The lights do not flicker first. They die clean. 1 second, the grid hums with invisible stability. Transformers balanced across regions, frequency locked at 60 Hz like a heartbeat. The next second, silence. Air conditioners cut mid-cycle. Refrigerators fall quiet. Elevators stop between floors. Traffic signals go black. In the first 60 seconds of a nationwide grid failure, nothing explodes. There is no cinematic fireball. There is only the abrupt absence of motion. And that absence is the beginning of cascading failure. Because modern life is not powered by electricity alone. It is stabilized by it. When the grid collapses, refrigeration halts, pumping stations stop moving water, fuel pipelines lose pressure, cellular towers exhaust their battery backups, and supply chains begin to fracture in hours, not weeks. This is the end of normal. The most dangerous misconception is believing you have time to prepare once it starts. The analysis begins with infrastructure dependency. The electrical grid is not a simple on-off system. It is a synchronized network of generation, transmission, and distribution that must maintain frequency equilibrium within fractions of a hertz. When generation drops suddenly or transmission lines fail under overload, protective relays trip to prevent equipment destruction. Those automated protections can isolate failures, but under severe stress, they can cascade. This phenomenon, known as cascading outage propagation, has been studied extensively by grid engineers and documented in large-scale blackouts across multiple countries. Once substations go offline and high-voltage transformers disconnect, restoring service is not as simple as flipping a switch. Large transformers are custom-built, often requiring months to replace, and black start capability, where certain power plants can restart without external electricity, is limited. In a prolonged grid-down event, restoration becomes a logistical operation dependent on functioning fuel supply, intact communication networks, and secure transportation corridors. If any of those are compromised, restoration timelines stretch. The public misunderstanding is persistent and dangerous. Most households believe the grid is resilient enough that any outage will be regional and temporary. They assume backup crews mobilize instantly and supply lines remain intact. What they overlook is interdependence. Water treatment plants require continuous electricity to operate intake pumps, chemical dosing system, distribution pressure control. Municipal wastewater systems rely on lift stations powered by electric motors to prevent sewage backflow. Fuel distribution depends on electrically powered pipeline compressors and refinery operations. Even grocery logistics rely on warehouse refrigeration systems synchronized to just-in-time delivery cycles. The modern home carries, on average, only 3 to 7 days of food inventory. Urban households often carry less. When the grid fails, refrigeration begins warming immediately. Bacterial growth accelerates once food temperatures exceed safe thresholds, particularly between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, the known danger zone for microbial proliferation. Within 4 hours, unrefrigerated perishable food becomes unsafe by food safety standards. Within days, spoilage becomes visible and odor spreads. That is not collapse theater, that is thermodynamics and microbiology.